I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 108, Jikkyō Powerful Pro Yakyū 5. Released in 1998, this game was developed and published by Konami. We're back to Japan once again with some more baseball. Yakyū meaning baseball in English. Now, you may know Konami as having mostly abandoned video games in the modern day, but this is one of the series they still do work on to this day. Although it's called Power Pros nowadays, there were actually some of these games released in English in the US for the Nintendo Wii. Now, this game may look familiar to some of you. That's probably because this is the second entry in this series we've played in the challenge so far. Remember? It's that life simulator game themed around baseball where I got hit by a car. We were waiting at a crosswalk for what felt like ages, and Butt had had enough. He sprinted across the street because he got tired of waiting and, well, he got hit by a car. Hopefully things go a bit better this time around. Let's get into it. Quick shout out to Who Was Phone on GameFAQs for writing translation guides for this game and many other Japanese N64 games. They've been invaluable to this challenge. Link in the description. The main single player mode in this game is the success mode, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. The first thing to do is enter our name. It again only allows me 3 characters, so it looks like Bud is making his return to the major leagues. It then asks some info on what team we like, what position we play, which hand we throw and bat with. They aren't too important, but the last one is. It asks how you will train your stats, and most of them relate to you manually raising them, but focused on some area, or you can have the game allocate them for you. I had the game do it for me because the language barrier already made this tough enough. Then we get a huge lore dump to set the scene for the game. Our name is Butt, and we've wanted to be a baseball player since we were a child. In the last game, we were in the minor leagues as an adult. In this game, we're in high school with 3 years until we graduate. We're in a program to become a manga artist, but our real passion is becoming a pro baseball player. Then we're introduced to the team captain, Tanita, and then a girl who's the team's manager. I believe her name is Anazaki. She's new to being a manager and hopes we all work well together. Some of the guys on the team essentially catcall to her, which is kinda lame. Thankfully, Tanita says that's not cool. You're gonna make her not want to help as our manager, come on. Good job, Tanita. It shows the main game screen, but there's some dialogue with Butt's dad. He's like, "Hey Butt, I heard you joined the baseball team at school." Then he starts crying for some reason. He's like, "You can't be a baseball player, you've got to take over the family business in the future." However, we tell him we love baseball and we're going to be a pro. He's like, "Pfft, in your dreams, buddy. Go study management." Somehow though, we managed to convince him to give us 3 years to get signed to a pro team. If we haven't been signed by then, we'll join the family business. Alright, fair enough. And then we get control. This is the main menu and there's a ton of info on the screen. I'll break it down for you. There's a new toughness bar at the top, which I believe relates to you getting injured. The smiley face is your current mood, the colored bar is your energy. Then along the top you have your character's stats and how big your batting cursor is, your power, running, throwing, and defense. On the left, it shows the current month and week, and on the right is your school's team stats in pitching, batting, running, defense, and overall. Then on the bottom, you can choose to practice, study, which is kind of like resting, talk to teammates or people you know, instruct your team, view your stats, listen to other people's opinions about you, and options. The main thing you do on most days is practice. When you press it, it opens a sub-menu with all the different practice methods you can do. The first helps out the team, like putting equipment away and things like that. You don't gain any stats, but your teammates and coach will like you more. The second trains your toughness without really training your different stats, then the rest train your character's different stats. The last one has you relax during practice, which will increase your mood, but your teammates' opinion of you will decrease. All of these decrease your energy as well. It shows a percentage when you hover over one of them, and that is your percent chance of being injured from that activity. So here I chose to help with tasks for the team. My energy went down, but all of my teammates' opinions of me increased. The blue messages are positive and the red ones are negative. Essentially, you get 1 action per week. So after that practice, it advanced to the next week. This time I decided to study. It shows Bud in a classroom and a girl shows up and says her name is Yuri, and she says she knows us from the baseball team. She's real impressed that we can balance practice and studying. Oh yeah, you know, it's real tough, but I manage. Oh, she walked away. I think Butt has a crush on her. It shows that our energy and mood increased from this encounter. On the next week, an event happened where we bumped into our rival in town. We're like, hey, you ran into me. You gonna apologize? And he's like, I don't have time for you. I'm the greatest pitcher in this town. Hinokari Mamoru. He said we interrupted his training and we could have hurt his arm that will carry the future of pro baseball. So Bud is like, nah man, we're gonna be the greatest pro. He challenges us to a pitching test at the river. We have one chance to hit a pitch from him. Alright, yeah, let's do this. Well, we'd never seen a throw like that and had no chance. He says he can throw 140 kilometers per hour and yeah, no way we hit that. We feel determined to beat him and that makes our mood go to the max. Next week, the head of the school pays a visit to the field. Is he the head teacher or the Yakuza boss? He says something along the lines of we should probably just focus on our studies because our school's baseball team kinda sucks. This made my mood drop. Wow man, way to make your team like you. Sometimes you'll have extra time during the week and it'll ask if you want to go to the classroom or wander around the school or just leave. I decided to wander around and some girl walks up to us and is like, hey, what are you staring at, buddy? What? I was just kind of freaking out that your pigtails are floating in the air, you know? How much hair product are you using? Also, you don't have a nose or a mouth, but I guess nobody does in this universe. She's like, oh, hey, I recognize you from the baseball team. My name is Nobuyu. I'll see you around. Yeah, hopefully not. Next week, I was walking home from practice and I found a shrine in the woods. Yeah, this doesn't look dangerous or anything. Bud is talking about someone or something inside that can help his technique. I'm just gonna go with there's some ancient baseball monks in there who are absolutely top tier. It raised a couple of my stats, which was cool. Essentially, the start of the game is guaranteed to give you all these events. It's kind of a tutorial in a way. Later on, these things happen randomly and don't always go so well. Like most of the time when you choose to study, nothing really happens. The teacher just shows up and says, hey, you're doing a good job or whatever. There's a lot of randomness to this game mode, and usually it's based on decisions you make. Sometimes you just get screwed for no reason though. Like here, I was walking around minding my own business, and I apparently stepped in a hole and twisted my ankle. But started crying and my toughness meter dropped. Like, I didn't do anything to cause this, it's just rigged. Next week, we were all at practice and Butt noticed some sketchy guy hiding in the bushes. His hair's a mess and he's wearing a beanie. Yep, this guy's definitely gonna kidnap one of us. We run and tell the coach there's a weirdo over in the bushes and he's like, where? Oh, that guy. That's just Kageyama, a talent scout for the Nippon Ham, a pro baseball team. Oh, that makes sense. Why is he dressed like he's about to break into the McAllister family's home though? Our coach is like, so what do you think? Anyone here got a shot at the pros? And he's like, nah, I'm looking for Hinokari. What? No way, that guy sucks. Come on, notice Butt. He's the best player around. Oh god, we're doomed to the family business, aren't we? Once July hits, the coach will announce the starting roster for the upcoming tournament. This is the first chance to get some real gameplay experience. However, Butt was not mentioned, so guess we're warming the bench. Oh well. At the end of July, the team goes to training camp. Coach has rented a spa-type place for us to practice, but we won't be doing much relaxing here. We all go out to the beach at night and the coach makes us do 100 push-ups, then 500 push-ups, then 1,000 push-ups. How is that even possible? Well, we all pass out from exhaustion and Anazaki's tells us that we passed out, so she brought us back to the spa. We aren't done though, as pretty much all the team passed out. I think Coach overdid it. After training camp ended, it was time for our captain to graduate. This means a successor is needed. I am sure this is the correct translation. The new captain's name was Whale Island. Yep, he's gonna lead us to victory. A bit later, I ran into the rival once again and he wanted to do one of those pitch challenges by the river. This time, the talent scout was nearby watching. You have to guess whether he'll throw a fastball, curveball, or forkball. I don't know if there's a way to know or it's just RNG. I went with a fastball and it was right. These one-pitch challenges are huge for getting the talent scout to like you, which is good for becoming a pro. At the end of September, the coach announces who will be on the team for the second tournament. As expected, Butt didn't make the squad once again. Sad, sad. When November rolled around, Butt got into some real crazy shenanigans. His friend Yabe met up with him at the local convenience store, and he had a challenge. Whoever can drink the most milk wins. What the heck, Yabe? That challenge is stupid. Let's do it anyway. I lost and it just put me in a horrible mood and drained all my energy. That wasn't worth it at all. And sometimes there's some weird random events. The coach was mad that all the equipment was dirty and wanted us to clean it up by the end of practice. Well, I kinda went hard out there and I got it even dirtier. The coach was furious about this and he was going off on Yabe. I knew that it was my fault though, so I had the choice to tell the coach it was me who did it or just run away and let Yabe take the heat. And well, you know, Butt's a nice guy, so I told the truth. It made my teammates like me more, but now the coach liked me less. So going into the second year, I was practicing like usual. This time though, something was wrong. I was swinging a bat and got injured. I only had a 1% chance to get injured, but I guess that's still a chance. I was out for 3 weeks and lost a lot of stats. When you get injured, it takes you to the hospital, and the only thing you can do is rest for that week. It's just bad RNG, nothing I could have really done. After getting over the injury, the captain introduced a new player to the team, Matsukara. He has no face. I mean, nobody in this game has a face, but like, this guy especially doesn't have a face. I don't know, it's weird. And well, things didn't go so hot when he joined the team. That Chad Pitcher guy ran into us in town, and I guess he has a twin brother or something. They were making fun of us, and he wanted us to beat him up or something. So I'm like, no, we're not doing that, they're freaking jacked. So they just kept making fun of us and drove off in their Mustang GT. Matsukara said he thinks he's gonna hate Butt, and it made my mood plummet to the lowest possible. Come on, dude. Well, by now, July had rolled around once again, and the coach was announcing the roster for the upcoming tournament. I was getting ready for sadness, but no, Butt was on the team. Oh my god, finally. I'm getting noticed for all my hard work. Let's do it. So it was time to finally play some actual baseball. It shows a matchup of the teams playing, and our stats were pretty close to each other. In success mode, the only thing you do in a game is play your character's at-bats. There are 9 innings in a game, 9 players on each team, and a minimum of 3 people at-bat per inning for the 3 outs. That means you'll get to bat at least 3 times per game. Batting is about what you'd expect. Move the cursor over where you see the pitch going and press the A button to swing. You can press B to switch to a power swing, which hits harder but it makes your cursor smaller. How well you do in these games is probably the most important thing to getting a chance at being signed to a pro team. I didn't do too well. I only got 1 base hit and no RBIs. Also, our team lost 3-4, so we were knocked out in the first round. Of course, your team winning isn't entirely up to you because everything else about the game is simulated, so it's out of your control. I needed some serious help to come back from that performance. Training camp rolled around again and my energy was quite low. Luckily, the team manager was there to offer me one of her special drinks that she swears is safe. Honey, orange, and raw egg. Yeah, sure, why not? And wow, it actually worked. My energy and toughness skyrocketed just in time. After training camp, the seniors graduated, which meant we needed a new team captain. Well, I kinda sucked all game, so they picked Yabe to do it. It ain't looking good, y'all. I made the team once again for the next tournament, and it was game day. However, something was wrong. We were all eating these snacks we found in the locker room. We thought the coach left for us. He didn't know what we were talking about, and yeah. There's this team you face in the game, they wear masks, and they sabotage your team with poisoned food. Of course, I had the option to choose not to eat it, but man, it looked so tasty. My team's mood and energy just plummeted. We lost 4-6, and honestly I did decent. I had 2 hits and 4 at-bats, so I think it went alright. With that loss and the after effects of the food poisoning, it's not looking good. But then I got just the break I needed. There was a mad scientist, doctor, his name's Jikkyō, showed up. I followed him to this very normal looking lab and he said he was studying sports medicine. Then he mentioned something about how his methods were banned in America, so he came to Japan. But I'm sure that part's not important. He says he's got an experimental treatment that can make me stronger. Naturally, I'm like, wow, that sounds too good to be true. Is it safe? Of course, he says. No one has ever died from this. Hey, wait, what does that mean? Before I knew it, I was being electrocuted and then passed out from the pain. The scientist is like, oh my, the machine was not calibrated correctly. Ah well, scientific progress requires sacrifice. I woke up in the middle of town and my toughness meter dropped drastically. Well, that probably could have went a bit better. At the later parts of year 2 and then year 3, the talent scout will start wanting to watch you practice. Sometimes you get to choose which aspect to show off, which you should pick your highest stat for. Others, he'll just watch you do whatever the game decides. I don't think this can go poorly though. It's a good sign if he wants to watch you. It was year 3 now and Valentine's Day had rolled around. We were upset that we were alone, but then in class Yuri came up and said she was giving us her chocolate obligation. Man, kids have weird names for these things these days. It made Butt's mood go all the way up, and that was awesome. The day just kept getting better too. That girl with the anti-gravity pigtails met up with me later that night. She was pretty upfront with her intentions and asked if we could go out on a date. I mean, you know what? Yuri gave me the chocolate obligation, but this is a flat-out date request. So I said yes, and the results were amazing. All of my stats were essentially maxed out now, but was on top of the world. A couple weeks later, I went out to town with my friend Yabe. In a cruel twist of fate, Butt got tired of waiting at the intersection. This is just like the last game. He started to cross before the signal turned, and thankfully the car swerved out of the way and missed us. Oh my god, I almost got ran over again. The next day, that girl is going around school bragging about how we're boyfriend and girlfriend. What the heck, I only agreed to go out on one date. That's not a relationship. I was livid and Yabe noticed what was going on. Before I knew it, the entire school knew about it. Apparently, the game has you lose the respect of all your teammates if you choose her. So yeah, that wasn't good. While being in a relationship can help with your mood and energy, it's not a perfect thing. If you spend too much time with your partner, you can fall in love. This will cause you to not do anything in certain weeks other than call her. And you kind of need to practice if you want to be good at baseball, so yeah, that's bad. So now it was getting to be time for our team's final tournament. One of the players from that team that wears masks was snooping around our field. Definitely up to no good. He put on a creepy cloak to make himself look like a monster too. He ended up leaving a stack of boxes in our locker room that was unstable. I decided I'd try to help out by taking one off the top, and they fell over and bonked me on the head. It said my skills and intelligence dropped. Oh god, Butt got a concussion. Just days before the tournament, we see that sketchy guy in town. He says it's time to commence Operation Banana Peel. What happened next was just abhorrent. Hinokari, aka that Chad pitcher from the other school, was driving around in his Mustang GT, when out of nowhere, a banana peel landed in front of his tire. It was too late. Despite that high price tag for the awful car, nothing can withstand the slipperiness of a banana peel in a cartoon. Hinokari's career was done for. Our team was wondering what to do about this event. The best pitcher in the entire country, done just like that. Butt was asked for his opinion, and I could have chosen to either say, wow, we got lucky, we should visit him in the hospital, or we should just practice. Dude, like, I hope he's okay, but come on, I'm trying to make the big leagues. Let's practice. Forget him and his stupid nice hairdo. So, now it was time for the final tournament as a high school baseball player. Looking at the stat difference, we improved quite a lot since last year. In my second at-bat, I hit a line drive in the gap to left center field. Unfortunately, I didn't understand I had to make the runners move myself, but I did manage to get an RBI out of it. Then on my next at-bat, the pitcher threw a wild pitch which allowed the runner on third base to score. We ended up winning the game 7-3. I only had one hit and one RBI, which isn't the best, but it's okay. For winning, the principal called us into his office. He offered to upgrade our training equipment since the team was doing so well. This is why it sucks that we lost in the first round in the previous years. You can level up your training equipment by winning, which will make your skills level up faster. Better late than never, I guess. It was time for the second game now, and the teams were more evenly matched this time around. Butt was absolutely on fire though. He just kept driving it deep into the outfield and had 3 hits. Would have had an RBI, but I couldn't figure out how to tell the base runner to go home. We won the game 8-4, great showing. And then it was time, the final game of the tournament. We were up against... Oh my god, it's Hinokari, that Chad pitcher. It must have been his brother who got injured in the Mustang GT, not him. Aw crap, we're screwed. And their stats are so good. Butt did alright, I guess. He got a base hit and was out the 3 other at-bats. We ended up losing 3-4, honestly closer than I expected. There is one final thing to do in the game. The talent scout will come to the field to do a one-on-one session with you. Just 10 pitches of batting practice is your final thing to prove you've got what it takes. I thought I was doing quite well actually, but it gives you points when you hit a pitch correctly, and well, I only got points on one and ended with 5 points. Pretty awful. And then it was Judgment Day, the draft for the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The last 3 years of my life worked up to this. And oh my god, our teammate tells us we got drafted to the Nippon Hand. Yes, dude. But then he pulls a Steve Harvey and he's like, I must apologize. I got the wrong name. It was actually Yabe who got drafted to the Nippon Ham. Wow man, you suck. How could you do that to me? Butt is naturally devastated by this news, as it means he must quit baseball and join the family business. Our girlfriend tries to cheer us up by being like, "Aw, come on Butt, there's more to life than just baseball." Well, we already lost, so may as well burn this bridge too. We tell her to get lost, and she's like, "Screw you buddy, I hate baseball players anyway." And then it shows the game over screen with Butt locking up his baseball equipment in the closet forever. It gives a brief epilogue that Butt quit baseball and went to university to study management. Then what's real crazy is it deletes your save file permanently. That way you can't try to save scum your way to getting drafted, I guess. Well, that was about 3 hours down the drain. Guess we gotta go again. At least this time around I know most of the dialogue, so I don't need to translate it to read it. Right off the bat, something new happened in this playthrough. My character was just flat out lazy. I picked the exact same traits to start and all that. It was just that most days he would say he didn't want to practice and he'd skip it. It's completely out of my control. I absolutely hated this. There's nothing you can do to get rid of it other than just kind of wait. You can miss out on nearly an entire year of practice. I think this is such a stupid thing, honestly. Along with that, there's just so much that can go wrong. My new teammate said he didn't like me in year 2 and it made my mood plummet again. This game was so much harder than the last one. After another failed session with the mad scientist where all my stats went down, I knew this run was dead in the water. So I just reset. In the next attempt, I didn't roll the lazy trait. All of your starting stats are randomized a bit though. I have no idea why you have a random chance your character can just be lazy. This time around, I got Bud into a relationship with a different girl who didn't have anti-gravity pigtails. This is seen as a more acceptable relationship by the game, probably because there's no black magic or whatever, so you don't lose the respect of your teammates. We went out on a date to the park and it went pretty well. But then that weird talent scout was watching from the bushes? What in the world? These are high school students, you weirdo. He liked me less because I was spending time with a girl instead of practicing. Come on. Things were going amazing this run though. I even got picked to play in the first tournament of year 2. That's a big improvement. On the night before the game, Butt decided to watch the finale of his favorite baseball anime. He said he was disappointed in the episode and it made his mood drop all the way down the night before the game. Oh my god, this game is so stupid sometimes. Who cares about the stupid finale? Play baseball. When your mood is bad, you play a lot worse in a game, which just really sucks. Despite the bad mood, Butt had 3 hits, including a double. We ended up winning 4-3. Yabe got injured during the game because of course he did. I went to the hospital to visit him and we noticed the doctor looked just like our teacher. She says that's her twin sister and is like, "Oh, how's she doing?" But in his infinite wisdom is like, "Oh, your sister's definitely hotter than you." So now our teacher hates us, so that's nice. In our next game, Butt somehow got a base hit with an RBI and that was it. The best part was our team won 3-2. Why the heck is Butt's mood still so bad? The series finale was 2 weeks ago, come on. In the tournament finale, we were up against that Chad Pitchers team. Honestly, Butt killed it. 3 hits including a double, but the team still lost 3-0. Honestly, this one wasn't my fault. This run was going phenomenal. Or maybe it was going a little too well. Our captain graduated, so the team needed a new one, and the coach decided to promote Butt. This sounds good on paper, but being captain means I now need to manage the team. You know, handle their practice schedules, how we play, stuff like that. It sounds like something the coach should be doing, but well, I guess it's us. And this team interface was confusing to say the least. I'm sure it makes sense if you can read Japanese, but I can't, so I just kind of ignored it. I told the mad scientist to buzz off this run too, not risking it. Now that I was captain, it highlighted something new in this version of the game. When you get promoted to team captain, you no longer only do your at-bats. The game gets entirely simulated for the first 6 innings, then you take over the entire game for the final 3. Pitching, fielding, batting, you do it all. Since I'd literally not touched this aspect of the game up to this point, I was kind of in over my head. Pitching's pretty simple, just press a direction to choose which pitch to throw, then press A and move the joystick to aim the pitch. Fielding controls well too. It's completely arcade feeling, no sense of momentum or anything like that. It was easy to pick up. They got a huge rally in the 8th inning and I was screwed. My pitcher was tired and I just could not figure out how to sub in a relief pitcher. They even got a huge home run and I just knew I was finished from that point. The stupid cheating team that poisons our lunch too. They would just not stop getting home runs on me. It's like nothing I could do would stop the onslaught. We ended up losing 10-13, which just really sucked. It would have been great to get better training equipment. Things could still work though, I thought. But went out on another date and it seemed to go well. But then he randomly developed insomnia. Oh my god, it never ends. Unfortunately, I ended up losing the first game of the final tournament. Not good for Butt's chances. And then an even worse thing happened with me only getting 8 points in the final batting session with the scout. Unfortunately, Butt did not get drafted this time either. Man, that run was going so well. At least we still have our girlfriend though, right? This time I told her she was right when she tried to cheer me up instead of getting mad at her. And then in an insane twist, she says, "Oh, well, I only liked you because you were a baseball player, so we're gonna break up." Oh my god, Butt can never get a break. I couldn't keep losing like this. I wanted Butt to get drafted so badly. The RNG was just being so unfair though. I just kept resetting for runs without that lazy trait, and it turns out there's a second bad trait you can roll. Your character can have hay fever, so every so often you have to go to the hospital and miss practice. It's just like being injured for the entire run. Reset after reset, game over after game over. It felt like I'd never get out of this one. Finally though, I got to draft day with some real solid stats. Instead of hearing the negative piano noise, it played a positive jingle. We were informed that both Yabe and I got drafted to the Nippon Ham. I was drafted in the 6th round, but hey, good enough. Our girlfriend's like, "Oh my god, Butt, I'm gonna get to watch you play baseball on TV. I'm so excited." Hey, screw you, lady, you dumped me in a past life. Then we get a screenshot of an article of all the players drafted. Of course that Chad pitcher guy got drafted first, but hey look, there's a tiny picture of Butt in the corner with a red arrow pointing to it. It's like one of those clickbait YouTube thumbnails. For winning success mode, you can import your character to be a player on the pro team they were drafted to in other modes. But it's real complex with a giant password and I can't read Japanese, so I didn't bother with it. But yeah, we got the worst winning ending, but it is a winning ending. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it. My journey to beating Jikkyō Powerful Pro Yakyū 5. Man, this game is so unfair sometimes. They made the RNG so much more unfavorable compared to the previous entry. The finale of my favorite anime being bad, the mad scientist being less reliable, being lazy, or even having hay fever. But I grinded through it and I beat it. The Japanese text really sucks for this one. I think this would be a really fun game if it were ever translated to English someday, but we are not in that world, so I had to slowly translate with an app that does decent at best. I did like the music and the art style's cool too. It's basically the same as the last game. Overall, it's worth checking out if you can read Japanese. If not, this will probably be way too frustrating. Check out Power Pros on the Nintendo Wii if you want to play one of these games in English. I gave it a 6 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 7.5 out of 10 for difficulty. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. 282 on the list. 3, 2, 1, go. 197? What is that? Oh my god. We are playing Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.